CQ RAYNET. This is Golf 4, November Romeo Charlie, G4NRC, operated today by Greg, Golf Sierra Golf Uniform Bravo, serving as net control for the RAYNET-UK weekly activity net. This net meets each Sunday afternoon at 1600 hours local time and is open to all amateur radio operators interested in emergency communications. The primary purpose of this net is to provide the opportunity for members to test equipment, exchange traffic, news, opinions and information, with additional information available on the RAYNET-UK website at www.raynet-uk.net. This is a directed net, which means all calls are to be made to the net control station unless you are instructed otherwise, and all RAYNET-UK operators are invited and encouraged to check into the net. When you do check in, please announce your call sign slowly and phonetically, followed by your name, and if you wish to leave the net immediately after checking in, then please call in and out. Otherwise, if you want to leave after subsequent turns, then please make it clear you want to check out at that time. After I've heard a few check-ins, I'll repeat who I've heard. If you're not acknowledged, then please do try again. And if you miss your turn to call in, then I will call from my strays at the end of the UK and national sections. So I'll now begin taking check-ins as usual in call sign number order. So any stations with figure 8 in their call sign wishing to check in, please call now. This is G4NRC.
Golf 8 Echo Yankee, G8 EEY, name is Mike.
Yankee. Let's try again once we stop the clashing. Golf 8 Echo Yankee, good afternoon, Mike acknowledged. Any other 8s, please? G4NRC, over. Just in case we're stuck, Sesame Street today is brought to you by the number 8. Stations with figure 8 in their call sign, please call now, over. G4NRC, nothing here. Let's have 7s. Stations figure 7 in their call sign, please go ahead, over.
Golf 7 November Echo Hotel G7NEH. Good afternoon, Greg.
G7NEH, good afternoon, Graham. Copy you okay. Any other 7s, please? G4NRC, over.
Mike 7 Victor C. We'll be monitoring, over.
Mike 7 Victor Sierra Delta, only about 30% copy with what I got, gathering you're in and out. Is that correct, over?
Yes, that is correct.
G4NRC, okay, acknowledged, thank you. Good afternoon to you then. Any other 7s, please? G4NRC, over. RC, no more 7s, let's have 6s. Stations figure 6 in their call sign, please go ahead, over.
Good afternoon, Golf 6, Papa Delta Echo, Chris, in and out please, Greg.
Mike 7 India, in and out.
G4NRC, so I've got Mike 7 India Alpha Uniform Adams in and out, and Chris Golf 6 Papa Delta Echo in and out. Okay, thanks chaps. And the other 6s, please, G4NRC, over. G4NRC, let's have 5, stations figure 5 in their call sign, please go ahead, over. G4NRC, we don't have many 5s in the organisation, so as usual we'll jump straight to 4s. Stations figure 4 and their call sign, please go ahead, over.
G4NRC, Golf 4 Kilo, Uniform Juliet. Good afternoon, Greg. Golf 4 Kilo, India Lima, G4 Phillips, South Sussex.
For an RC, so far I've got Trevor, G4KUJ and Philip, Golf 4 Kilo India Lima. Any other 4s please, G4NRC, over. For an RC, nothing heard, so let's have 3s. Stations figure 3 and their call sign, please go ahead, over.
Golf 3 Zulu Hotel X-Ray, Ian, in and out this week, thank you, Greg.
Golf 3 Zulu Hotel X-Ray, good afternoon Ian, copied you in and out. By the number of in and outs, I'm guessing it must be a good barbecue day. Any other 3s please, G4NRC, over. G4NRC, nothing heard, so let's have 2s. Stations figure 2 in their call sign, and that includes your intermediate 2s. Please call now, G4NRC, over.
Two Echo Zero Echo Oscar Charlie calling.
Echo Zero, Echo Oscar Charlie, good afternoon Liam. Any other 2s please, including the intermediate 2s, G4NRC, over. G4NRC, nothing heard, so let's have 1s. Stations figure 1 in their call sign, please go ahead, over.
Germany 1 Foxtrot Mike Uniform, name's Keith.
Golf 1 Foxtrot Mike Uniform, good afternoon Keith, nice to hear you again. Any other 1s please, G4NRC, over. RC, nothing heard, so let's have Mike Zero stations of any regional secondary identifier, please, over.
Mike India Zero, Mike Sierra Oscar for Northern Ireland in the night.
Yeah, I'm Jerry Jonathan, East Suffolk. You're in late for me as well, Greg. Nice to hear you this week. Finally had a chance to get in.
G4NRC, so far I've got Philip, Mike India Zero, Mike Sierra Oscar, and Alan, Mike Zero, Juliet Sierra Alpha. Good afternoon, chaps. Copied you both in and out. Enjoy the sunshine. Any other Mike Zero stations of any regional secondary identifier, please, over.
Right, good afternoon to you and other RAYNET members. This is Mike Zero and Julian Whiskey down in Cornwall. Just got my kit back working again, but it'll be in and out for me this week, please, Greg.
Mike Zero India Lima Whiskey. Good afternoon, Andrew. Or Andy, sorry. Too many screens, too many names. Copied you in and out. Nice to hear you this weekend. Okay, let's try for Golf Zero stations of any regional secondary identifier, please, over.
Golf Whiskey Zero, Juliet Lima X-Ray. Good afternoon, Greg. Name is also Andy. Reddit Pembrokeshire. No traffic today, so in and out, please. Over.
GW0JLX, G41RC. Good afternoon, Andy. And thanks for tail-ending the usual call-ins. Nice to hear you there. Be in and out. Right, as usual, let's skip a step. Any UK stations who've missed their turn to call in that wish to do so, please call now. G4NRC, over. G4NRC. Then do we have any of our international colleagues on the talk groups today? Usually Nord-Samband of Norway, Aran in Ireland, Aries in Slovakia, or Dares in Netherlands. Any of our international colleagues, please. G4NRC, over.
Lima for 6 in, my name is Hans, in and out.
Lima Alpha 6 India Mike, good afternoon Hans, nice to hear you again. Good signal as usual into the system and copied you in and out. Okay, last call for any stations, UK or international, that missed their turn to call in. Please call now, G4NRC, over. G4NRC, I can't help take the bait. G4HUF, you did try calling in partway through, but we got no audio from you. G4HUF, G4NRC, over.
This is G4HUF. Yeah, well, that's not a problem because I did say in and out this afternoon, Greg.
G4HUF, not a problem, Phil. Okay, that's got you in the system anyway, and at least I got the message that time. I don't know what happened the first time around. Okay. Right, let's go straight into it then. Very good turnout, 16 check-ins today, albeit a lot are in and out, so it'll be a shorter net than usual, I'm sure. So, usual reminder, Graham G7NEH is live streaming the net to YouTube as usual today. Past live streams and recordings are available by searching G7NEH, that's Golf 7 November Echo Hotel on YouTube, and hitting the like and subscribe buttons if you want to let him know you appreciate what he's doing. And any comments that are put in, I'm sure he'll relay through to us on the net as well. It feels like the peak of the summer holidays with few events in the diary for the next couple of weeks, but this is only a warning that once kids go back to school, event organisers get the time to fill up our calendars through autumn. So to avoid clashes or to get the most help available for your events, group controllers are encouraged to get their events listed in the national diary as soon as possible. Of course, not forgetting to put a report onto the diary afterwards so we can continue to demonstrate the value amateur radio provides to the community. It's been a slow news week in the telecoms world, the only item of note being Starlink apparently phasing out pause mode on their service that allowed you to just cease and not pay for a while, but instead bringing in a paid standby mode. For £4.50 a month, users now get a very reduced speed of 0.5 megabit per second, but the encouragement for doing that seems to be it's easier to do this than stopping your account and re-enabling it at some point later, no doubt with credit checks and other things in place. It remains to be seen how this will affect some of our more intermittent users in the user services. It could, however, encourage the development of some nice lightweight applications that will sneak underneath that 0.5 megabit per second boundary. So with that, what thoughts does that trigger from everyone this week? Starting as usual, it feels like, with Mike, Golf 8 Echo Echo Yankee, G4 and RC, over.
G4NRC from G8EY. Good afternoon, Greg. Good afternoon, everybody else on the net. I must admit, we don't go anywhere near Starlink in this part of the world. I'm always wary of being totally reliant on an outside system. However, Here in Norfolk, it's 22 centigrade at the moment, 1024 millibars and falling, 58% relative humidity, and according to weather radar, 5% cloud cover, which is going up to 75%, and I reckon it's already there because it's certainly not a barbecue day here, and I haven't seen any sun all day. And it looks as though it's going to go down to a maximum of 16 centigrade during the day by Thursday, so it could be quite chilly. Yes, my main success this week is to actually get a very well-known courier system to sort their system out a bit. I actually got some proper reaction from their support and managed to get a bogged down delivery done by Saturday, which was quite nice. It was only a week and a bit later than it should have been, but can't really moan. At least I got the items I wanted. From the 8 EEY.
Golf 8 Echo Echo Yankee G4 and RC returning. Okay, all copied. Yes, that awareness of not having a system we can't control is of course one of the mantras that the ITU sets out for the amateur service, but it is just useful if you can't get yourself on QO 100. Couriers, yes, well at least you got the right thing delivered to you a few days late. I finally got a package through from America because I'd ordered some stuff that you can't seem to get in this country, and despite me ordering the correct 2 leads and the supplied delivery slip showing the correct 2 leads, I got 2 identical leads, not 2 different ones, for an audio interface on a Digilink. So given the hassle in getting stuff in and out without duties and other things, I suspect that I'll just be going on eBay and I'll have another go at getting what I really, really wanted another time. Not a huge issue, it's just a workaround. But I was trying to make use of a consolidation service to minimise import duties into the country, which was good. It just seems to take a long while getting over the pond, but once the Royal Mail had it delivered very quickly. Okay, let's go to Graham and see if he's got a different view of how many viewers we've got than I might have. G7NEH, G4 RC, over.
G4 NRC, G7NEH returning. Yeah, good afternoon, Greg. Good afternoon to all on the net. So concurrently we have 3 viewers listening or watching at the moment. Last week's views were 36 views and 4 likes, which is about what we normally get. And temperatures today here in Cheshire, or in our part of Cheshire, 26.4 degrees centigrade with 48% humidity and a UV index of 4. And unlike Mike, we've had the sun all day and virtually not a cloud in the sky. So definitely barbecue weather around here. Not a lot else to report at this end. So if you want to drop me out the next round, Greg, and I'll obviously continue streaming and listening. G4 NRC, G7NEH.
G7NEH, G4 and RC returning. Okay, be interesting to see whether the views are down next week since we have more check-in or up because of the people going in and out. But 16 is not a bad check-in quota for the moment. And Trevor and I were remarking on the number of connected peers switch onto the system as we speak is 72. So you can still spot that tidal shift as people put their hotspots back on for the net, because at least they're getting tested every week. Okay, it's Trevor next. G4KU Joe. Sorry, Graham, did notice you were out on this one. Trevor, G4KUJ, G4 and RC, over.
G4 and RC, G4KUJ replying. Good afternoon, Greg and everybody else.
Main thing I've been doing this week is continued some soak testing of the latest Arden firmware on the HAP Lite and also on a GLI 8 AR300. So far, it's been stable on the HAP Lite. It is definitely slower than the AR300 and the AC2 I've got running as nodes. And when I look at the ping times, they're considerably higher than those on the other two nodes. But it hasn't fallen over yet, which is the main thing. And it's running with a wired link between one node and an RF link to the other. So that looks as if the problems that they had previously have probably been sorted, but it's the device with its lower memory is definitely becoming a bit slower and noticeably slower. So that's that on the Arden front. And Philip, G4KIL, hope you got the email I pinged back to you earlier in the week. So back to you, Greg, G4NRC, G4KUJ.
G4KUJ, G4NRC returning. Okay, my Arden gear, as you recognised, took a hit earlier on in the week where it got turned off as a result of some furniture moves when I wasn't in the house. So it's not done an update yet. I haven't updated anything else. You might confirm on the next round whether this is now the live official release or is this still a nightly build before I set about trying to refresh everything on the test bed here. I did kind of switch back from looking at Arden back to getting the 44net bridge sorted out, trying to resolve the not very good instructions on the ARDC website, to be fair, but noticing that there is a new way of getting 44net onto some of these routers, which is now containerized, so makes it a lot easier to do. So the clean unit I have, which I was going to try and use the old method, might actually get a full firmware update and see if I can make it work any better on that, and then we can get that integration of ARDN and 44net and new packet radio 70 and everything else that's been on our radar for a while. Okay, thanks for that, and having mentioned G4KIL, we shall drop down to him next. Philip, G4KIL, G4NRC, over.
G4NRC, G4KIL, yeah, very good evening, afternoon, Greg, and everybody. Yes, Trevor, thank you for the email. Yes, it was useful input actually, and what should we say? There's some discussion being kicked around on it. There's at least one member of our organisation is convinced that we are Category 2, which is a voluntary organisation within that category, and others saying that can't possibly be true. Therefore, it should be voluntary. So, thank you for that was what I think the email was mainly about. And thank you for looking at it, though. And it links to the fact that, yes, our main event, our main achievement, as it were, hope is an achievement, in the last week was to do our response to the cabinet survey. We haven't put it in actually on the proper website yet. We just did a copy on our PDF, which we sent to various people. And so thank you for the comment. And the other thing I suppose I've done this week was to, because JS8 very kindly, or JS8 Cool, the software, very kindly creates an extensive log of what gets picked up. Stuck that into a spreadsheet to try and analyse it in terms of UK stations and when I was picking them up. And that looks quite interesting. So the question linked with that really is that I presume there is a way of using a script or an app or something to read locations out of QRZ.com on the basis that I think a number of logging softwares do it, but maybe they've got special access to do it. I don't know, because that would be kind of nice if I could get the spreadsheet to stick in the how far away they are. But I can do it manually if necessary, or keep me out of mischief. That's probably my main thing, I think, for this week, I think, or at least for this time around. To go around, thanks G4 NRC G4 KIL.
G4 KIL, G4 NRC returning. Okay. Yeah, noted that debate on Cat 2, which we definitely are not. I wish we could remember the particular televised government select committee meeting where Red Cross, St John's and somebody else, might have been WVS, sort of said out loud, you can't put a duty on a volunteer, which is why we sit in this strange place of not being a Cat 2 responder, even though we support others. JS8 call logs, got to admit I've not done that, but on the topic of JS8 call, found some call signs that appear during poor propagation. Somebody was advocating reducing the depth of search that it does on the decode. So if you're getting a lot of curious call signs that don't look real, stop searching so deeply through the waveforms and just pick out the really strong ones to filter out. And side answer to your question, there is an API for QRZ.com. There is a means of looking that up automatically and getting it dropped into your system. Much as I hate saying this because it's vibe coding, but it would be an entertaining one to throw at a ChatGPT, but one of the ones that does coding, to see if it could do that kind of thing for you and see what you get back out of it. Because I think there are more UK stations on than we see directly, obviously enough. The other thing relating to HF issues, given it's a HF net on Thursday, is a nice video about blanketing that happens through summer, which is what's making our coverage on 80 and 40 metres so useless, it seems, at times, until we get later on in the evening. Okay, thanks for that. Now we go to, I think you call in on this one, but you've ever called in, Liam. So, 2 Echo 0 Echo Oscar Charlie, you can say whatever you like, Liam, given what you've just put into the side messaging to me. 2 Echo 0 EOC, G4 and RC, over. Echo 0, Echo Oscar Charlie, 2E0 EOC. Say again, you can say whatever you like, Liam, G4 and RC, over.
To Echo 0, Echo Oscar Charlie, very good afternoon, Greg, very good afternoon everybody else on the net as well. Apologies for that brief delay, my
Echo 0, Echo Oscar Charlie, G4 and RC. Yeah, I think our messages have just crossed. Liam's hotspot has died. I think he was sick beforehand. It's dropped and he's sat right next to it. So it may be I've got to tell him he's too close. So we'll see if we can bring Liam in on the next over rather than resolve some things, just so that we can keep some progress on the net. So Liam is the new operational support team leader for RAYNET, so that's why he was chipping in today. Okay, let's see if he can join us next time around, but we've finished this round off with Keith. Golf 1, Foxtrot Mike Uniform, G4 and RC, over.
Yeah, okay, Greg, just a correction to the call sign. It's Foxtrot, Germany 1,
Foxtrot Mike uniform. We're over the other side of the channel on our holiday, and it's really good to be able to test out the gear, which is, I think, one of the functions of the net, if not the primary one. So not only does it work from overseas, it's also working on my mobile phone data. Fortunately, we have got roaming, so we're not paying extra for that. But yeah, really good to know it still works, and of course it should work when we get back to the UK as well. Thanks for the information about Starlink. The RVS in South East Cornwall are really concerned that when they turn off the phone lines and go digital, because they get frequent power cuts, they will lose communication. And we've tried using conventional radio, but with all the valleys and what have you, just not working. Sorry about that. So we will have a look at Starlink, the cheaper rate to I think you said, was it half a meg or something, would suit them, no doubt, just to hold a place. But we'll do a search to see. Okay, well I'll listen through the net and then say 7.3s from the Vendée. So we're down near St Jean-de-Mont. Yesterday when we arrived, 35 degrees, which is ideal temperature for putting up a tent. Not. But today much better at about 25. And the smell of smoke apparently is coming from Portugal or Spain for their forest fires. Hey-ho. Anyway, good to hear everyone on. Thank you very much for running the net. Catch you next week.
Foxtrot/Golf on Foxtrot Mike uniform G4 and RC returning. Okay, you pose an interesting little challenge there, Keith, because I've not looked it up in the same way. Operating abroad under CPT terms, I think it's a mix of you can do the lesser of whatever the local licence or your UK licence allows. Never actually checked into how well established hotspots are in France, or even whether they do DMR. So maybe one to not. I'll just have a little look at online briefly. Noted about the temperatures. Yeah, much as people might think it's a weather net, sometimes this has got a slight RAYNET side dish to it with, if we've got operators stood out in 35 degrees, we need to be thinking about how we look after them. And the other aspect there of the smoke from the Spanish and Portuguese wildfires recalls to me a statistic I threw out at COM on Thursday that Germany's had 4 or 5 major disasters, according to the definition of a major disaster, last year. Because there is a statistic for these things, and I haven't actually looked at what the UK's number is, so I was going to go and have a look at that. However, enjoy your holiday, Keith, and stay in the shade, and definitely enjoy the scenery. So noted you out on this one, and we shall take a little advantage of that then and see if Liam's hotspot has had 50p put in it to come back to life. 2 Echo 0, Echo Oscar Charlie, G4 and RC, over. For an RC, nothing heard, so we'll go back to the top of the list and see what Mike can say to us. Golf 8 Echo Echo Yankee, G4 and RC, over.
21.
G4 NRC from GEY. Got a 41% loss from Liam there. I don't know whether he's still talking, so I'll give it back to you, Greg.
Golf 8 Echo Echo Yankee acknowledged. I was just looking to see what the time went by as, because he will time out after a couple of minutes. Yeah, it was a massive loss of signal from him. He could obviously hear me because he came back to the over, but we heard nothing from him initially. So it looks like we have a bit of a hotspot issue, and I am wondering if he's had that thing where he's just sat a little bit too close to the hotspot to work well, although he says echo test works okay. However, such is the purpose of the net, we can figure something out. He says he's moved further away. Do have to give him one more go before we move around again. So 2 Echo 0 Echo Oscar Charlie. One more go, Liam. I know you're typing at me. G4 and RC, over.
G4 NRC 2E0 AOC. Very good afternoon, everybody.
Echo 0 Echo Oscar Charlie. I know you're typing at me, so I guess you've seen your hotspot still not playing again. We'll go back to the top of the list. Liam apologises, he's investigating. We'll do more after the net. Mike, back to you for your final. Then Golf 8 Echo Echo Yankee, G4 and RC, over.
G4 NRC from G8 EEY. Yeah, I got some audio there from Liam, but very high level audio. I should say at least up by about 10 dB. Way louder than everybody else on the net. I've forgotten everything I was going to say, but it'll come back to me as soon as the net's over. That's usually the case. Anyway, thanks for running the net, Greg, and look forward to hearing you next week from G8 EEY.
Okay, UJ, nothing heard from you, Greg, since Mike handed it back to you. Back to you.
Understood, Trevor. G4 and RC returning. Okay, nothing further from you. Graham, you chipped back in again, though you flagged us out last time. Anything further, Graham? Is there a comment I've missed? G7 and EH, G4 and RC, over.
No, I was just going to sort of chip in with, just because we haven't heard you for a few seconds, over.
Not there, Greg.
G4KUJ, acknowledged you said that you got nothing further to put into the net, so you logged out, but Graham and EH blipped in, so I just called Graham to see if there was a comment I'd missed, even though he'd called us out last time. G7 and EH, G4 and RC, over.
G4 and RC, G7 and EH. No other comment, Greg. I was just about to chip in because you'd sort of gone quiet for a few seconds, over.
G4 and RC. Okay, understood, Graham, thanks. No, it's the usual net control and then pingy off social medias. Okay, normal service to be resumed then. Back to Philip for a final. G4KIL, G4 and RC, over.
G4RC, G4KIL. Yeah, thanks for comments again. And the thanks for your additional comment on the category issue. Greg, that will be one, I think, for me to pick up the live stream, rip off the audio off it and stick it into a little audio clip to stick on our... I've just dropped the hotspot. Let's hope it's still going. To stick on our local WhatsApp for hopefully to clarify the position. Yes, any other comments on that response we made would be greatly received. Yes, the HFNet Thursday, I hope should be on for that, I hope. That's probably it for me for the moment, and I hope to be up for the net again on Sunday next week. So I'll say some trees. This is the end of the net. G4 NRC from G4KIL.
G4KIL, G4 NRC returning. Okay, yes, I didn't think I was going to get my audio sampled into a meme, but fair enough. Trevor will recall however many years ago it was when the Civil Contingencies Act was put out, or was going through its stages of Parliament, that there was a calling to the Select Committee for Red Cross St John, and I'm sure it was the WRVS as it was at the time. The three of them were sat there, and it was the comment very clear. You couldn't put a duty on a volunteer, whereas the categorised responders do have duties, which kind of, I think, reinforced or led to this concept of the voluntary services being called the third sector, just to show our curious position in the hierarchies. Okay, Philip, as far as the HFNet on Thursday is concerned, I am driving back up from somewhere down south. I'm hoping I'll be back by 8 o'clock on Thursday. It will depend, however, on what the highways agencies do to me on the motorway system. But net reminders will go out as usual on Wednesday for making that happen. Okay, that pretty much goes down everybody who's got functioning equipment, and we've dealt with all the outstanding issues, so I think it's time to bring the net to a close. Thanks everybody for taking time out of your schedules to participate today. Be careful, have a good week, and until next Sunday afternoon at 1600 local time, close the RAYNET-UK weekly activity net on talk groups 23531 Pheonix and Brandmeister and 5023531 on the RAYNET-UK system, and return those talk groups to being an open net rather than a directed net. 730, this is G4NRC now closing, reverting to my normal call sign of Golf 0 Delta Uniform Bravo. Bye bye.